I've received more requests than for any other show topic ever for a show on an update on the travel rules in and out of Canada with regard to vaccines. So, in response to all those requests, I'm giving you that update today. Hello, my name's Nicholas Wansbutter. I'm a criminal defense lawyer in Stratford, Ontario, Canada, and welcome to Don't Talk TV. So as I mentioned in the preamble, I have received more requests than for everything else combined ever for an update on episode 75, where I covered the Transportation Canada rules and the laws that govern those with respect to vaccination requirements for boarding an airplane within Canada, and the same rules apply to cruise ships and trains. Now, personally, quite frankly, my ability to go on vacation to Mexico or Hawaii is at the absolute bottom of my priority list. Canadian society, as far as I'm concerned, is burning down all around us, so going on a vacation isn't something that I've really turned my mind to at all. But since you've requested it, I'm doing the show. And maybe some of you are asking because you want to get out of the country, which I can understand why some people may want to flee the country. I don't know where one would go. I don't know what countries have a better situation than Canada. But I also, again, personally think that it's better for people who care about rights and freedoms, the people who cherish the Canada that existed before March of 2020. It's better if they remain in the country and try and fight for it. But I understand why some people may feel the situation is just intolerable and they decide to get out. So with that in mind, let's have a look at the rules. But with a quick caveat first, these will probably change by next week. As we know, with the so-called Omicron variant, things are changing all over the place, and we'll just look at a couple of those just to keep in mind that if you go on your vacation, enjoy your margaritas, because you're going to be in a quarantine hotel when you get back. I've got my browser open to Transport Canada website. So if we just click on the COVID-19 measures, updates, and guidance issued by Transport Canada, we've got this big yellow block here. I'm not going to go into the regulations that have been passed to cover this, because this isn't the main point of the video, but there are new requirements for fully vaccinated travelers. You've got to quarantine in a suitable place, i.e. a quarantine hotel, places where if you're celiac, you won't get fed for 40 hours, or if you didn't bring enough clothes with you, you won't be allowed to change your clothes for 5 days, as we've seen in the news recently. But requirements for unvaccinated travelers remain unchanged. So, let's have a look at what remains unchanged. This is order number 48 that was enacted on November the 30th. Now, I think this is interesting. I frankly can't remember what the law was back when I did it, episode 75, but now, section 13 sub 1, before boarding an aircraft for a flight, every person must provide to the private operator or air carrier operating the flight evidence that they received either a negative result for a COVID-19 molecular test that was performed no more than 72 hours before the flight, or a positive result of such a test is performed on a specimen collected at least 14 days and no more than 180 days before the flight's initial scheduled departure time. So, if you've been vaccinated, apparently natural immunity is a thing. That doesn't make any sense to me, but I guess that's what the health experts recommended to Transport Canada. Now, I'm sure the section that people are mostly interested in is what are the rules for vaccination? Or I should say, what is the law with regards to vaccination? Because I see a lot of people saying, oh, it's a mandate, not a law. Well, this is law. It's a regulation. It's been passed into law. So it does say that this section on vaccination doesn't apply to children who are less than 12 years of age. I'm sure that will change very shortly. Doesn't apply to crew members, which is kind of interesting because federally regulated businesses are required to have vaccinated employees, so I don't even know why they put that in there. Or a person entering a restricted area to board an aircraft only to become crew after having been crew member or participate in mandatory training. Now here's the most important section here, 17.3. A person is prohibited from boarding an aircraft for a flight or entering a restricted area unless they are a fully vaccinated person. But there are a couple exceptions. Interestingly, if you're a foreign national and you're just passing through Canada, you don't have to be vaccinated. And there's a number of other people. Basically, if you're not a Canadian, but you're not coming to stay in Canada, you're just passing through a connecting flight, you don't need to be vaccinated. But then there are a couple other exceptions. So a person who hasn't received the vaccination because of a medical condition, because of a sincerely held religious belief, boarding a flight for the purpose of attending a essential medical service or treatment, or if you're a person who's at least 18 years of age, accompanying one of those people listed in sub 3, person who needs an adult with them because they're under 18, they have a disability, or need assistance to communicate. But that only applies if that person falls under sub 3, they're seeking essential medical service or treatment. So that's basically the law as it stands right now. You have to be vaccinated to board a plane, train, or boat. The only exception to that is if you have a medical exemption, which, as we know, are impossible to get because physicians are scared that they'll be sanctioned by their College of Physicians and Surgeons. The reality situation is medical exemption, all but impossible to get. The other one is religious exemption. I have no idea how they're going to navigate that. People that have received religious accommodations at their place of school or work might be able to use that, present it to the airline to show, look, my religious accommodation has been granted, my religious beliefs have been held to be sincere by these people, so you should accept that. I don't know whether the airlines are going to do their own thing. I'm not a travel agent, I'm a lawyer, so that's something you have to check out with airlines yourself if you're wanting to travel. And for a bit more information on religious accommodation, what constitutes religious beliefs and what's supposed to be accommodated, have a look at episode 80. In the context of the Canadian Armed Forces mandate, I had a look at what religious freedoms are protected. As always, this video is not legal advice. If you need legal advice, contact a lawyer. You can call another lawyer, or under normal circumstances, myself. Unfortunately, as I've been saying for a couple months now, I'm currently so busy that I can't take new clients, but if you're watching this video a few months down the road, you can give me a call. My 1-855 number and website are listed below. And if there's any show topics you'd like to see me cover, please leave a comment in the comment section or email us at the email address listed below. And if you found this video at all interesting, helpful, or informative, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and following us on social media.